You guys are not gonna believe who just bit the big one. Jerry Collier.
What?
I hate to say it, but yes!
That's disgusting.
What? Everybody's gotta go sometime, and since Collier's on my list, well...
What list?
My Deadpool list.
Oh, please.
Yeah, I got all the regulars. Joe DiMaggio, King Hussein, Cifuentes.
Wait a minute, let me get this straight. You have a game where you bet on when people are gonna die.
You know, whoever's got the most dead celebs by New Year's Eve wins. And that's gonna be me.
And what do you win, a mug from the coroner's office?
Cash. Cold, hard internet cash.
So I guess you've heard the news.
We sure did.
This isn't funny, Granger. We could be looking at a replay of the 92 riots here.
Which is why the chief is calling for a curfew effective immediately. The beach will be closed at 8.
All bikes will be down at night. Until we figure out how this thing plays out, we could be targets as well.
Let's roll.
Strickland, Cruz, you're with me. Court records of Collier's lawsuits, most of them against cops. You can start by checking their alibis.
You're really in charge of this thing.
I also need you to pull videotape from yesterday's press conference, and I need more than the 10-second soundbite that's been playing on the news. I need everything the local news stations have.
Looking for...
Well, whoever killed Collier either followed him or knew where he was going.
Either way, he might be in the crowd.
So, how does it feel, Sarge?
Feel?
Well, I mean, it's not every day that a bike cop gets to pull the strings in a high-profile murder investigation.
It feels great. Just great. Okay, so I lied. Feels like there's a big knot in my stomach.
And you're not even out of the starting block yet.
Oh, I know. You know, I went to pick up some files at headquarters this afternoon, and you should have seen the way people were looking at me, Will. It was like I had the Ebola virus or something.
Well, I'm afraid of what you might find. How many years it could set back the force if it turns out it's really a cop who killed Collier.
Well, maybe if I had the support from the DA's office.
The election's coming up. No, my hands are tied. But well, maybe there is something I can do to help untie that knot in your stomach.
Will, not now.
I'm talking about coffee.
Sure you are.
All right, I'll prove it. Watch this.
Well, if it isn't our hot new homicide detective. Cory McNamara, right? I'm Mike Fields. This is my partner, Steve Turk.
Don't you recognize us from your suspect list? We're the racist cop bastards who murdered poor little Angel Jackson in cold blood.
Just because you were cleared in the criminal trial doesn't mean you're not guilty.
You know, you sound like the late Jerry Collier.
Do I?
Angel Jackson jumped off the pier to get away. He hit his head and drowned.
Yeah, I read the coroner's report.
Which no one seems eager to believe. You know why? Because Jerry Collier sold the public a fairy tale and intimidated our entire department.
The same department that assigned the wheelie patrol to Collier's murder. So he can serve up a cop as his killer to appease the masses?
That is not going to happen.
No, of course not. And Jerry Collier didn't deserve to get killed.
Can I quote you on that? Now, unless you two want to stick your feet even further into your mouths, I suggest you go find someone else to intimidate.
Just one more thing, McNamara. When you find the person that murdered Collier, let me know. I'd like to shake his hand.
And in closing, I want to emphasize that the team handling this matter, like the department itself, is made up of officers of all races. And furthermore, I will personally be bringing you updates as this investigation continues. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Sergeant?
What the hell's going on here? Why wasn't I notified about a press conference?
Trying to keep the city from exploding here. Do you mind?
Yes, I do. You put me in charge of this case, remember?
I can always take you off of it.
It's true, sir, but until you do, I will be deciding on what we tell the press, and without putting my black and Hispanic officers on display for the sake of appearance.
Keep it gut, Sergeant. Keep up the good work.
Okay. I'm impressed.
Collier's case files, the video footage, what do you got?
Well, nothing yet, but...
Stay on it. Strickland, you're with me.
Effective immediately. Beach will be closed at sundown. Anyone on the beach after dark, we take it into custody. The beach will be closed at sundown.
Oh, is that why he says who, man?
Okay, let's break this up.
Oh, so what now? Y'all trying to take away our right to assemble? Is that what it is, officer?
You can assemble wherever you want as long as you don't block the boardwalk.
And you stay off the streets after dark.
So what, you threatening me, white boy?
Look, if I have to arrest you, sir, I will.
Man, so what? Ain't nothing but another example of cops oppressing the people anyway. Lock me up.
All right, let us through. That's it!
Back off.
What, you gonna run me over with your little bike?
This is the last time. Break it up. I'm warning you, back off!
We got a problem here, folks? Move. Something about the phrase curfew don't seem clear to you? I'm not even gonna count to 3. Just move your asses, people.
Move it. I'll catch you later.
I'm looking forward to it, partner.
Yeah, whatever.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the help.
Hey, there's nothing we wouldn't do for a fellow officer. Right, Steve?
That's right, Mike. We're all on the same team here. Whether on bikes or on foot or in a squad car. That's what they taught me at the academy.
You guys must have missed that class.
Looks like it's gonna be a long night.
Ooh, not too shabby.
Yeah, looks like Collier did pretty well for himself.
And his widow.
A guy like that must have a pretty plush life insurance policy.
Wouldn't it be pretty ironic if a political fire starter like Jerry Collier was just a victim of the world's oldest motive?
Speaking of motives, I was kind of wondering what yours was.
Mine?
Picking me and Bobby to help you with this case.
There's no denying this is a political case, Jamie, but fortunately I didn't have to make a political decision.
Meaning?
Meaning that my 2 officers of color just happen to be the 2 best suited to withstand this kind of pressure.
I have no idea who the supposed witness was, nor who my husband was meeting at the apartment. We never discussed his business matters.
Well, what about personal matters? For instance, the state of your marriage?
Sergeant, I realize in the course of a typical murder investigation that the spouse is always a suspect. But as you must surely realize, Jerry Collier was far from typical.
Your husband may have been a high-profile, controversial lawyer, but he was still just a man.
And whoever he was supposed to meet yesterday doesn't appear to have been business.
As I said before, I have no idea who Jerry was meeting. And as for our marriage, it wasn't perfect, but it was the most important thing in both our lives. If anything, the stress came from not having enough time together. Is there any reason you're so eager to dismiss the obvious reasons my husband was killed?
Is there any reason why you still haven't told us where you were yesterday?
I was here, waiting for Jerry to come home for dinner. Now, if there is nothing else...
Actually, ma'am, there is. It concerns the fallout from your husband's death.
His murder.
Yes, ma'am. We're anticipating a little trouble, and...
What we're trying to say is, we were wondering if you could do us a little favor.